Hello traders and welcome back to another Conquer FX YouTube video. Today we're going to be talking about 6 habits that I think all traders need in order to succeed in this industry. What we need to understand first of all is that you've probably heard a lot of these terms, but I want to discuss them in more detail. I probably want to talk a little bit about, kind of giving you guys a different perspective on these things like discipline itself, which we're going to start now talking about in 2 minutes. But stay till the end. I'm sure you'll find something that will hopefully spark an idea or give you a different perspective on how to look at these things or carry out some of these points and developing them into your habits and routines. So yeah, we're going to get straight into it now. So the first thing is being disciplined. So we always hear that traders need to be disciplined in everything they do, from being at the charts to their everyday life. And although that is true, realistically, you're not going to be a disciplined individual every single day. It is very hard to bring this and assign the same amount of discipline to an action every single day. And honestly, it doesn't need to be that hard. In reality, when we look at high performers, successful individuals, it looks like discipline almost comes easy to them. If you look at David Goggins or things like this, it looks like, take him for an example, that discipline is a huge part of his life. But you could almost argue that so is habits and routines. And this is the same for traders. This is the same for high performing athletes and things like this. The fact is that you will not be disciplined every day, and you are human, and you will fuck up, and you will want to be lazy, and you will fall off and get into a rut, and these things will happen. So how do we make discipline a much more easier process to make sure that you can actually survive the long term, that you can sustain discipline for the long term? And the reality is that in order to become a disciplined individual, we must actually create powerful habits and routines. And this is when discipline becomes a lot easier. It makes it look like you are a disciplined individual every single day, when in reality, you've just developed really strong habits and routines that act as a powerful catalyst to basically push you towards whatever goal you're trying to reach. So the way you do this is whatever goal you're trying to reach, whatever action you're trying to implement, or try to bring discipline to. The idea is to assign discipline, or just enough discipline, to this action for a long enough period of time so it becomes a powerful habit that now accelerates your career. And now, as you've assigned discipline to this action for a long enough period of time that it's become a powerful habit, it starts to work on autopilot. And now all of a sudden, it doesn't look like, or it doesn't seem like you're an individual who struggles with being disciplined, because it's just part of your day-to-day routine. It's part of your day-to-day habits. It's like the trader who gets frustrated at others when they say, I struggle to follow my plan. A lot of professional traders will struggle to even understand that, because following their plan has now just become a powerful habit. It's not so much that they're bringing discipline to the table every single day, which they are. They are disciplined individuals, but on a day-to-day basis, it's more built into their routines and habits to follow their plan and not deviate away from that. And if you're able to build strong habits and routines around things that you now find you need a lot of discipline for, whatever actions you're struggling to keep disciplined in, they become a lot easier. They start to work on autopilot. And now you're able to take this discipline and put it into other parts of your life. Maybe that's, you find that you need to start journaling more. You need to start spotting your behaviors and triggers more. Well, now, because you've assigned discipline to this action for a long enough period of time, you've now actually opened up room to assign this discipline to somewhere else. Now, since this action that you signed enough discipline to at the start has become a powerful habit and routine. So this is my view on discipline, and I think that people often view discipline the wrong way. I think that people always believe that you are going to be a disciplined individual, and they make their life hell. And the reality is that I want to give habits and routines here that you can actually survive the long term, that you're actually able to arrive each day and perform at your highest level and not have to put an unnecessary mental strain on yourself every single day. The next thing that I want to talk about is these successful traders, they only take planned trades. A lot of us will arrive to the desk in the morning or before their session or whatever it may be, And we'll arrive to the desk and start asking ourselves, okay, where is the money? What trades am I going to take today? Is there anything moving here? And they'll start looking for momentum rather than opportunity that actually has statistical edge. And this doesn't make any sense. For the long term, once again, without any plan, without any sort of structure to what you're doing, you will get slapped in the face eventually. And you may find that this will give you some sort of early success or beginner's luck, but the reality is that this will catch up on you. And arriving up to the desk every single day with no clear structure or plan in place for what you're looking for will eventually catch up, and the market will humble you for your lack of planning. So the reality is, if you can develop a process, some sort of a consistent process, step-by-step checklist, something similar to this, that even if you're able to plan the direction that you're looking for the night before, or if you're able to plan your point of interest the night before, so when you arrive to the desk the next morning, you know exactly what you're looking for. And discipline kind of comes in here when when we actually plan a trade, we have to stick to that plan. If the market doesn't give you what you originally wanted, it's very easy to say, oh, as a trader, you need to adapt and then be able to, swap your bias to the other direction. But in reality, that's when things, especially as a beginner, unless you have lots of experience, it can really bring you down a bad rabbit hole. And you're much better off planning your trades, taking what the market gives you. If your setup lines up perfectly, pull the trigger and make sure that you're in the correct mindset to pull the trigger. There's no point of planning these trades and not being able to then execute the trade when the time comes, or you find that you start second guessing yourself. That means you're going to need to start working on your mental game. That also means you're going to need to start bringing more clarity to your process. So start taking planned trades, and only planned trades. If that means that you're only taking, you might be taking 10 trades a week now. If that means you only start taking 2 trades a week, so be it. Over the long term, planning ahead and planning your trades more strategically and more professionally will add more structure to this chaos that you're probably finding when it comes to your results at the moment. You want to find a consistent process that allows you to come up to the table every single day and know exactly what to expect. And by doing that, you're removing a lot of uncertainty about the game. You're looking for one thing, you're looking for this plan to play out in whatever fashion or whatever form. If you don't get that, there is no trades. If you get it, it's time to execute. And that removes a lot of the uncertainty from trading that you might experience on a day-to-day basis. So the next thing is spending time learning from each trade. This is something I see beginners do they don't do all of the time. And the thing about this is you've sat at the desk, you have taken the loss or taken the win. And it usually happens with losses, especially that a beginner will take a loss and they nearly don't want to look at the charts anymore after, and they close their desk and they say, I'll come back tomorrow. But what happens is they come back tomorrow and they use the exact same actions, routines, habits, consistent process that they've already been using, and therefore they're always going to get the same results. When in reality, what they're leaving at the table is necessary data for them to improve. So if you started shifting this perspective of looking at a loss as this kind of threatening thing that's happened to you, or something that you find painful, and instead look at it as an amazing opportunity to learn, you're going to improve a lot faster than others who are shying away from looking at their losses and wanting to improve from their losses. So what the lesson to take from this is, no matter if it's a winner, a loss, a break-even trade, or a trade that you kind of went off your plan with, and even down to the trades that you missed, spend the necessary time. Allocate an hour or two away in the weekend, or allocate a few minutes after the trade has closed, or in the evening time as the rest of the day is played out, and literally have a look at how you can improve. What could you have done better? There is so much data you're leaving on the table after every single trade if you're not analyzing it on how you can improve. It can be as simple down to how you're managing things. It can be as simple down to your betting size, to your entry, to your exit. It can really be as simple as that. But you're not going to be able to improve in these areas if you're not taking the chance here that you have to improve by looking at the trades that you've already taken. So don't shy away from, trying to improve when it comes to these trades. See them as an amazing opportunity to learn. Stop looking at them as failures. Stop looking at them as big wins. Start looking at them as amazing ways to improve your game, because you have to understand that a trader's wealth is directly determined by his or her performance. So if this is a performance field, you want to improve on any areas of where you need to perform at a higher level. And that is the small little details that is left in each single trade that you take. No matter if it's a win or a loss, there's some piece of data there that could potentially bring your B game up to an A game, your C game up to a B game, so on and so forth, okay? The next thing is professional traders, successful traders are always starving for more data. Now, that does not mean that they're always trying to just add in new pieces into their strategy or fix things that, are already working.